Well, howdy, all you collector car fans out there. This is once again Jason, the owner and founder of Southern Bush Motorsports. So, what a great Tales from the Bush we have for you today. We're talking about untouched or survivor cars. What does it mean? What's the difference? So, this right here is a 442 old. Just to give you an example, in my opinion, survivor cars held for cars like this. This is a higher end, rare car. So this is a completely untouched car. Nothing's ever been done to this car, and the motor's never been taken out. Nothing has ever been done to this car. So this is an untouched slash survivor car. I've always liked untouched cars. That's always been a thing for me. I kind of look for them. I like cars that nothing's ever been done to them. It's just my thing. So the classification between untouched and survivor. Well, survivor and untouched are pretty much the same thing. But I think the word survivor car is held for more higher end cars like this W30 442. Look at the car. She's a little rough. She's never been touched, but that's kind of something that I like. When I find a car, I like to find them complete, untouched like this. So the survivor car classification is more of a staple that can be put towards higher end cars like Yanko Camaros, six-pack and Hemi cars, Superbirds, stuff like that. But untouched for me is a car pretty much like this W30, and you're going to see a few more cars in here. These are cars that I just prefer. So is there anything special or different between a survivor car and an untouched car? No, not really. Untouched is, that, like I said, that's just the car that I kind of prefer. If you look at this 442, she's rough. She's never been touched. She's got rust all over the place. This is not a pretty car. This is not a car, one of the things that becomes a problem is because this is a high-end car, if you're going to restore this car, you can't half-ass it. You've got to do a good job in it, which means you got to buy quality parts. You got to buy NOS parts. Really, this car deserves NOS parts. See those red inner fender wells? That's a pretty good indication you're looking at a W30 because they only put them on W30. But when you're restoring a car like this, you really don't have any choice but to do a top-notch restoration on it. And that's where it becomes a problem. If you're looking at restoring a car, you need to know this kind of stuff. Because if you're just buying a car and you don't really know what you're getting into, and you put a bunch of money into a restoration, but you don't choose to do it properly, you just pissed away all your money. Because anybody that's going to buy this high-end desirable collector car later on in the future is going to realize that you half-assed the job, and you're going to lose a lot of money. You always want to try to put the best job you can into it in case something happens in the future. Maybe your son or daughter inherits the car and they get into trouble and they need money. You want the best outcome possible. So a car like this, you're going to need to put some money into it. But I consider this a survivor car. But really, this is an untouched car, and this is what I really like. So this next car that we're going to get into is a 71 440 Charger RT. Pretty unique car. Now, you can see that fender is a different color. This car belonged to it was in a collection that I found in a barn that belonged to a doctor. Now, this is considered a survivor car, an untouched car. It's completely numbers matched in 440 RT. It's never been touched. The story I got was some kid had repainted that fender because he had scratched it. And at the time, it looked like it was the right match, and I guess he got away with it with Grandpa. I don't know, but, years later, that fender obviously has been repainted. Not replaced, it was just repainted. But that is an untouched / per se, survivor car. Now you get into that classification. This is a 440 RT. This car has to be restored right. So this would get the survivor car classification, but I also give it the untouched car classification. That's the original paint. Those are the original rims. It's a beautiful car, but this also falls into the same situation of that yellow W30 car that you saw before. You got to restore this car right. This car needs to be done properly. I mean, super solid car. You're talking about a great car. I actually kicked myself in the butt for not picking this car up, but I had too many cars that I had already bought, and there was literally thousands of cars in this cow barn and out in this field. And this was in Farmington, Virginia, I think it was. But some of you might have seen this collection. But great options on this car. A lot of cool options. A really rare car. But I consider this an untouched car because nothing had ever been done to this car. It was really, truly an untouched slash survivor car. And to be honest with you, if I remember right, the guy only wanted 14 grand for this car. This was back in 2005 or 6, I believe. So that was a pretty decent price then, and that's why I kicked myself for not getting it. But again, this is a situation where, yes, it's great, yes, it's nice, it's untouched, it's a survivor car, it's beautiful, but at the end of the day, you got to make a choice. You can either leave this car like this as an untouched survivor car, and you're going to bring decent money down the line, and it's cool because it's never been touched, or you got to restore it. And if you're going to get into a car like this to restore, I mean, look at that engine compartment. Nothing has been done to that. That motor's never been out of that car. You can see the motor's never been out. It's tough to take a motor out of a car like that without banging the crap out of everything. But, this car needs to and deserves a proper restoration, which means you're going to be into this car for $40,000, 50 grand to restore that car. Is it worth it? Heck yeah, that's worth it. That car is definitely worth the trouble to restore. So, at the end of the day, I would definitely restore this car, but I consider that an untouched car. Now we're going to get into another car that I found. I did a story about a Tales from the Bush on this. This was a military car. Now, people were complaining, what did they mean by military issue? This car was used as a police car on the military base in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Yeah, it doesn't look like a police car right now, but it was a military used vehicle. And the paperwork shows that it was for the military at the time that the car was bought. But this is that is the original paint on that car. The car's never been painted. That's the original paint, original chrome, original everything. The guy put some rims on it and stuff, but the documentation to this car was absolutely ridiculous. I consider this an untouched car. This isn't, let's say, a rare car, so I wouldn't give it a survivor classification. It is a survivor car, but, it's not. I'm saying that the higher end cars, the rarer cars, are the ones that I give survivor classifications to. But this is just I think this was a 318 car. There wasn't anything real special about this car. The car ran and drove like a top. I mean, it was a blast driving this thing. But, there's some information on the car being delivered to the military. It was a really cool car. I personally would never restore this car. I would clean it up a little bit more, keep it exactly the way it is, and not restore the car. Because the car really didn't need it. I mean, if you wanted to have a perfect car, but once you start restoring a car like this, it's a restored car. It's no longer a survivor car. I personally would never restore this car. I would leave. Give me your opinion on what you think. Look at how clean the underside of that car was. Absolutely ridiculous. So personally, in my opinion, I would never restore this car. I would leave it exactly the way it is. Keep it as a time capsule. No, it's no 426 Hemi car or anything like that, but this is a pretty damn cool car because it's untouched. Nothing's ever been done. Now we're getting into this 1969 Mustang. Do you know whose car that is? 1969 Playmate of the Year. Hugh Hefner gave her that car. I found it in that building right there in very rural South Carolina. This guy had a couple rare cars, but he had all the documentation to prove that this car was given to the 1969 Playmate of the Year. It's a Mustang convertible. It was given to her as a gift by Hugh Hefner, and it was really cool to see all the documentation on this car, but this is an untouched slash, I would put a survivor car on this. And it was so cool to see this car, to know that the Playmate of the Year for 1969 Playboy actually sat in this car and drove this car. Now, there wasn't much of a backstory on how this car actually ended up with this guy, but I'm telling you, it's kind of hard to deal with people in South Carolina because it's a lot of old money. This guy definitely had money, but they never show it. I mean, he was in coveralls, he had chewing tobacco in his mouth. They never show that they got money. But this is not a restored car. This is an untouched, low mileage Mustang convertible. I know it's almost hard to believe with how clean that interior is, but the car was it was barely driven. It was in private collections. This guy bought it at an auction where he felt a lot of people didn't even know about the car. So with these pictures being really old, and this was such a long time ago, can't remember if I took any pictures of the documentation or not. But what a beauty! It was so look at the duct tape there. It was so crazy to see a car like this. It was so untouched, which I love, untouched cars. And this is definitely because of who owned the car. This was a classification of a survivor car. But this truly was. I did see the documentation. This was. I mean, I can't really see that because I'm looking at a smaller view, but I believe that was less than 80,000 miles on this car. A completely untouched car. Nothing had ever been done to it. Look at that engine compartment. That looks like a restored engine compartment, and it's been cleaned up real well, but that car's never been touched. It was such a nice treat to go over this car, knowing, the 1969 Playmate of the Year sat in this car. This was her car, given to her by Hugh Hefner. What a crazy car. You can look it up yourself, and you'll find this car. It popped up on a couple searches that I did, but, just a rare car. I consider untouched survivor car. Look at that Mustang convertible. Playmate of the Year car. Well, thanks for coming by and checking out another Tales from the Bush, and we really appreciate all your support. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we also have t-shirts for sale now, so you can go onto our site and check those out too. And we really appreciate you giving with the Patreon page if you can. Thanks for coming by.